Downtown Fargo, where culture, creativity, and community collide. You've heard the headlines. Now hear what's really happening. Bringing the best of Broadway direct to you. The stories, the people, and the places that make downtown the heartbeat of our city. This is Rocky's Downtown Hour with Rocky Schneider.
Happy Halloween Friday, everybody. I'm Rocky Schneider with Rocky's Downtown Hour. I'm the executive director of the Downtown Community Partnership, where we enhance downtown, everyone's neighborhood, the heartbeat of the region. And I'm excited. I love Halloween. I'm here in black and orange today, and it's fun to see everybody dressed up, or if you just wear a costume every day, you fit right in today. And that's the beauty of Halloween. No matter what you're doing, it's welcoming to everybody. And I just love it that these traditions last. I don't think Halloween often makes a lot of sense, especially when you look at all the variety of costumes hanging out together. You can have zombies and Taylor Swifts and K-pop demon hunters and minions and all sorts of things out there, and everyone's just coexisting. That's kind of, there's a beauty in that. That's just, I think, underappreciated on what Halloween looks like and feels like, the diversity of it. Everybody's just out there doing their own thing, being in their individual self and expressing themselves. I think there's a beauty in that, and I just applaud everybody that goes all out. I'm one of those people that, much to the chagrin of my wife, sometimes I spend too much on a costume, but I like a costume. I like an outfit more than a costume, and so I've already dressed up twice this year. Once with my coworkers last weekend. We held the Wish Walk, a Make-A-Wish fundraiser. Raised about $750, had about 300 kids come through our trick-or-treat event downtown. I got to dress up as Gru from Despicable Me, and my coworkers were Minions. And I was kind of shocked. I haven't seen all the Minions movies. I know I've seen the first two Despicable Me's and then liked them, but I think I dropped off after the third one and the Minions movie. But I was shocked at how many kids came as Minion costumes. Even a couple adults were Minions that showed up. It was one of the more popular ones, and it got me thinking that if you're going out as a group, it's a great group costume because you could have 1, you could have 4, you could have 15. Minions just work. There was even a dog dressed up as a Minion at our event, which was kind of fun because nobody knew we were dressing up as that, so we got to take some fun pictures as people came out. And I just love looking at those pictures of all the kids walking through all the businesses, walking through the last Red River Market last weekend, just enjoying the weather, smiling faces, seeing new businesses, and walking by the Fargo Theater, taking their picture. And it's fun to see like what traditions last and which ones don't. And yesterday I was at an event for the Fargo Theater, who's celebrating 100 years this next year. And so they are working on some, I don't call them upgrades, but maybe just keeping up with the times. They, technology and wear and tear and all those things that you have when you're a theater. And I know some people look at the Fargo Theater and they don't have lazy boy recliners. And so you go somewhere else. But there's a legacy in the Fargo Theater, and I just love going there. It's fun. And I think they're looking at some new enhanced seating that I saw some visuals of and some descriptions of, and that'll be a lot of fun. A little more leg room, a little more width room too, which we'll all need after tonight and all the candy. But looking forward to seeing what's new at the Fargo Theater. I know they got some amazing framework there, but everybody needs enhancements from time to time. I think their last update was in the late 90s, early 2000s, and so it needs a little love. They're switching out there to LED lights like everybody else, a little more energy efficiency. But when you think about that marquee out there and how many pictures, I had wedding pictures in front of it. Every day you can walk down and see tourists taking pictures, wedding parties, visitors, businessmen, kids have birthday parties there still. All those things. If the Fargo Theater could just capture, a couple pennies every time somebody took a picture or used it on a promotional item, I bet they wouldn't need to fundraise anything. They would be the richest people in town, because that's what you think of when you think of Fargo and just the importance of place and our identity and downtown Fargo. But across the region, you see that Fargo sign and you know where you are. And I think there's such an important stabilizing factor in that. Every community has movie theaters, but we have the Fargo Theater, and it identifies us. And so hopefully if you're out there and you love Fargo Theater, join as a member, go to a movie, ask them about their upcoming capital campaign they're working on. I think it's amazing to watch that legacy continue. We often talk at the city level about different incentives and what businesses are coming in, how many people they're hiring, what their salaries are, all those things. But man, the return on investment of 100 years of a theater and what that's done for our branding, for our marketing, for visitor experience, it's priceless what it's done for Fargo. So hopefully it can stay here for another 100 years, and just encourage everybody to lean into that. People come here just for that, and it makes us different. We're talking about the convention center. I know there's a lot of questions about the downtown location. Mike McFeely just ran a column about it. He loves talking about it, and so does everybody else. And there's a reason for that. Downtown is unique. It makes it different. I know I want visitors coming to Fargo. I want them to see downtown and experience it. I don't want them to go to a chain restaurant when they come here, right? I don't want them to see a neighborhood that's like other nice neighborhoods in anywhere USA, right? We want them to say, what's unique? With small businesses downtown, the local restaurants, mom and pop shops, the Fargo Theater, all those things, are Red River, and all those things that make us unique here. It's like I want to show that off as much as possible. And there's a chance tomorrow for everybody, if you're looking for something to do after, I think maybe after your kids get a fitful night's sleep full of sugar, but at 9 a.m. tomorrow, there's a brand new bike trail opening up at Dyke East, which is, downtown Fargo. It's connecting a trail connecting downtown to Lindenwood. You may be telling yourself, I thought there was already a trail there. And there is. There's a paved trail that goes from, along the river, the Red River trails there. But this is a level 1 mountain biking course. And I call it a course. It's really a trail. It just goes into the trees, goes down by the river, goes up through the poplar trees, all the way to Lindenwood. And the idea is to give somebody a entry-level kind of way to explore, right? If you're a kid, you start riding in through the grass and you think you're really cool. You get that confidence that you're building that connection with nature. And it's something different than just going on the path. I think runners feel the same way. You're going on the path to connect with nature, right? You're going outside, but this gives you a little bit off-roading. It's not too extreme. There's some bumps, but anybody level of riding can do it. But there's a groundbreaking ribbon-cutting ceremony at 9 a.m. tomorrow. It's called the All-American Trail North. We've had it on our past episodes, but I'm really excited, and thanks to Greg Tavine and Patrick Crary and everybody in Park District, everybody for really pushing this to get going, and it's going to be fun tomorrow. All those connections, and hopefully these trails, we saw it, the river trails, they've been there for my whole life, and every time we do one of these types of infrastructure projects, I think investing in place, investing in experiences, investing in culture, the return on investment is sometimes tough to quantify, but everybody has an experience with the gazebo at Island Park, the Fargo Theater marquee, the trails along the river. I think we all have some sort of memory of these things and the parks near us. These aren't economic incentives necessarily. We don't talk about them in that light, but man, they improve the quality of life. They are what makes us unique. It makes us have unique experiences, makes us more creative, gives us an escape from the daily doldrums, and just hoping everybody can experience it. If not tomorrow, come on down. You can do it by yourself anytime. You don't have to do it when the crowd's there. Go check it out. If you know how to bike or not, you can walk through it. It's a fun way experience. You can bring down kids groups and walk through there. And so looking forward to that, and just encouraging everybody to come down, support our trail systems, connect to downtown. It's you don't have to drive an hour to a beautiful park in Minnesota. You can do it right outside of your door, right along our Red River. And then after that, you can come have one of the dozen coffee shops in downtown Fargo, grab a sweet treat, grab a Sandy's donut, grab lunch at Nicole's, whatever you want to do after that event, or anytime you come down and use the river trails, you get to both experience nature and an urban area just, a couple seconds apart from each other. And so it's the beauty of downtown being along the river. It makes us unique. It's our geographic feature here. It's what defines us as a community. And so leaning into that, I love that. And I think that's what I hope our community is all about, celebrating what we have here that's unique, being unique, standing out when it's appropriate, or when you want to, or when you need to, and finding time to just be by yourself too. The trail systems work for all those things. Same in downtown. You can come by yourself to events. You can go with a party. You can meet people there. You can come and go as you please to most of these things. Last night, there was the Night Bazaar at Brewhalla, the Folkways Spook Night Bazaar. It was a lot of fun. I went by myself. There's a lot going on this week, and so I popped over by myself for a little bit, walked around, saw some friends, had good conversations, grabbed a drink from Drecker, and then I left, and it was great. It was no commitment, no cost. It was just a good time. And when we come back, we're going to have a couple cool shops that are going to be on with us. One is Lunatique Boutique, which is coming up next, and really excited. She is bringing a lot of curiosities to downtown and a lot of new fun events as well. But we're going to talk to Lunatique Boutique coming up next. Welcome back to Rocky's Downtown Hour. I'm joined by Dee Dahlstead. She's a local artist and owner of Lunatique Boutique.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on today. So Lunatique Boutique is inside First Avenue Market on
Correct.
First Avenue in downtown. So tell us about Lunatique Boutique. What is Lunatique?
It's an oddities art vintage antique shop. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like the best kind of weird. It's very fun and cool to go in, and I mean, you can't help but pick something up and go, what is this? You know,
or why is this?
Why is this? That's better. Yeah, I love it. But First Avenue Market, can you tell us about First Avenue Market too? It's a good little creative collective.
Yeah, so I guess the easy way to say it is, you remember Zambros.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When they came here 30 years ago, their idea was, what is cool that Fargo's missing? Let's bring it in. First Avenue Market started from the other side of the spectrum, as Fargo has so much cool stuff. People can't find it all in one place unless you go to like Red River Market or an Unglued Market or Folkways. And then if you have a wedding that day, you can't go, so you don't get to see local stuff.
Yeah.
So they sort of work from the opposite end, but in the reality, they've kind of both tumble in the middle a bit together. So it's a variety store, but the emphasis on regional and local wherever possible.
Yeah, so I mean, Lunatique is weird, but the whole First Avenue Market is not that same motif, right? You got everything from Revival Coffee Shop to food.
They're closed now.
Oh, they're closed now? Oh,
Yeah.
they're so much fun. Yeah, I love the dinner. It's a nice little spot.
Yeah.
Hopefully something else comes there. But yeah, we have, I mean, all sorts of goodies in there. There's plants and dog treats and food and
Yeah.
so,
Everything from locally produced things like Hanson's Vanilla to handmade crochet items by Little Hippie. We've got people that do embroidered patches, very unique things you can't find everywhere else.
But today is Halloween.
Yes, it is.
And so I feel like you wish every day was Halloween, or every day is Halloween for you,
It is,
maybe.
yes.
Yeah. And so you have brought a lot of kind of interesting, cool events to downtown, or been part of them. Last night, I believe, was the Haunted Ghost Tour.
Yeah, our last one for this season.
Yeah, that's cool. So there are ghost stories in Fargo?
Yes, every
Can you
place
tell
has
us one in like a 30-second story?
Not particularly. I don't want to give everything away.
Yeah.
But there's a story of, I guess, my favorite because it's heartbreaking. A young woman named Marie Wick came up here by train. I don't remember the year, but long time ago.
Yeah.
And she ends up brutally assaulted and murdered. They think she has died. She has not, so she's beaten to death with a fire hose.
Oh.
And then the tragedy doesn't end there.
Oh, wow.
They have to put someone away for this murder, and they have to try him somewhere else. And it's just, a man is wrongfully incarcerated for almost 30 years. And it's an age-old story of power, getting away with things.
Yeah.
And then he's incarcerated so long, they can no longer go after the real person. And Marie, perhaps rightfully so, haunts in downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now I want more tours.
Yes. There's also a book available at the market right now. A local author who found that in her genealogy research that Marie was part of her ancestry, part of her family. And so she talks a great deal. Most of her stuff is truly historical, spends a large time on the courts because that was well documented.
So I'm going to ask you to explain your work a little bit, because I think some people can see it and be like, what the hell was she thinking when she put this together, right? But
Right.
what I loved, as an artist, you have your motivations, but I put this down as my notes here, but the Velveteen Rabbit syndrome. And I thought that was the coolest thing, because we all know
Yeah.
the Velveteen Rabbit. We all hope our things come to life, and you
Yeah.
bring some things new life.
Yes. Some people in galleries have noted that there seems to be something embodied within. But I don't know how familiar you are with the Velveteen Rabbit story. But the Velveteen Rabbit is a new toy, and he doesn't get a lot of time with his person because there are modern wind-up toys and things like that, bells and whistles. So he spends a lot of time in the cupboard with a much older toy, a skin horse. And then he learns about this concept of real. And I'm just going to read a little bit from it because paraphrasing doesn't do it justice. So he's talking to the skin horse about what is real. And the skin horse says, generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, and your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. And I came out of a world of vintage and antiques. My parents were dealers. And when I survived domestic violence and moved out here, I myself felt a bit damaged. I have special needs kids. And so the idea of perfect never appealed to me. I call myself an imperfectionist. Old things, there's something like if you hold a 1920s flapper bullet lipstick tube, you feel the intimacy of the connection to the past. As a woman, you understand putting lipstick in your bag and you wonder what she might have gone out and done. Over time, however, that thing is no longer perfect. It's dinged, it's bent, but it still works. And in the antique world, a lot of things get thrown out for not being collector quality. And they're not perfect. And there are some people who, like myself, who appreciate shabby chip paint or the fact that it lived before. But there are cases, too, where things just get thrown out because they're not perfect enough or they're not considered serviceable for their original intent. So I work with them, and just because it doesn't maybe do X or shine as brightly as it used to, I see it can live on in another way.
Yeah, I feel like we probably all go through a Velveteen Rabbit story, before we go through our periods of not being very confident and figuring out who we are. And we all figure out who we are, I think, at some point in life, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then you become confident in just who you are, and it's often way later than it should be.
Well, too, we go through changes. We go through tests and trials in our lives, and situations and things occur to us that we don't choose. And we change. And sometimes we mourn who we used to be instead of just embracing this is who we are now.
And I'm just going to, throw back to Halloween because it's why I love Halloween and watching kids dress up, because no matter how confident or unconfident a kid is, like when they put on a costume, they get to sort of be who they want to be.
Yes.
And everyone's equalized in a way, and they get to express themselves, and it's okay. Whatever weird thing you're into, you get to dress up as it, and it seems normal. And it's like, if we could learn something about that every day, we'd be better off.
Yeah.
And so it's just a lot of fun. And you guys have a Halloween event tonight.
Yes, we do. We did our Love Local night officially. We always do that on the second Friday of each month. But it was Halloween.
Yeah.
So this one might be a little more low-key than some of our other events. I will be wearing a costume. I'm pretty sure Matt is, the owner of the market. We have Madame Zoltara.
Can we spoil it? What's your costume?
Matt, I never bought costumes till I met Matt.
Okay,
Matt loves costumes.
Yeah.
So in the 2 years I've known him, I bought 2 costumes. He told me once I should be Ursula, so that's who I will.
Yeah,
wig and all.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could see you as Ursula, but I don't know if that's a good thing to say. But
I know.
I'm going to say it. Yeah, I can see
know.
it. Yeah,
It's Ursula before she steals the voice.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Just you.
I don't sing.
Are you bringing eels? Do you have anything that look like
no,
eels?
No, I still have to work, so it would be hard to manage eels and run the till.
Yeah.
I'm only so good.
Watch where you turn around, because those tentacles are going to whap something.
Yeah, the
knock
skirt
it over.
length is weird. Yeah. So we have Madame Zoltara coming. I don't know if you remember in the movie Big.
Yep.
Zoltara is the one that causes everything. Madame Zoltara is, spoiler, not real. It's a character done by Amy Klein of Amy and Bill's multiple personalities. Bill is the one who leads the tours. We're very close with them because they are up for anything.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what people should expect at Lunatique Boutique. What do you hope people experience? And
Wonder.
I feel like when you have a whole room of that, it makes sense. But if you were to buy one piece and bring it back, it would be a story for sure, because it doesn't always fit in a normal mantle.
My oddities is, there's my weird art, and there's vintage and antique, but a lot of the natural world. I tend to follow more of a Victorian aesthetic, travel the world. They loved their oddities and their gaffs. They knew the Fiji mermaid was fake, but they still wanted things like that, and the wealthy could afford them because it was a sense of wonder. What could be out there that we don't know while they're exploring the world? And we still don't know as much about our ocean as we do space. So it's kind of a what if. And again, I don't really do horror slasher stuff. And there are other shops in the area in the state that do that. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying mine is a bit for sense of wonder. I used to be a writer, and you write the whole story, right? With the art, it's like there's blanks that your mind, when you see it, fills in. And that sort of becomes your story and your wonder.
Well, thank you, Dee, from Lunatique Boutique and the First Avenue Market in downtown. Thanks for being real with us today and bringing, helping everybody's real journey.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we're going to have Crystal from Mystic Moth to continue our Halloween-themed occult discussions of downtown Fargo. Welcome back. Happy Halloween, everybody. My dad joke of the day is, why do you always invite the ghosts to the party? Because he brings the booze. See, when you're on radio, nobody laughs. It's just like when I tell a real joke at the office or at home. You just get blank stares. And that's basically what radio is like most of the time. But right now, I am so happy to be with somebody that also didn't laugh. But Crystal Larson, she's the owner of Mystic Moth Studio. It's at 608 Main Avenue. If you haven't checked it out, it's a really cool, interesting place all year long. But it is kind of an occult, eclectic assortment of things that we'll ask Crystal all about. Crystal, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. Yes, Halloween's my favorite. So being in it all the time is awesome, but you also kind of forget about some of the little special things. So I especially like walking around and seeing all the kids in the Halloween costumes running door to door and just feeling that like joy and happiness that comes to them. So.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas is obviously the best day of the year. They all say that, but like
Boo.
watch on, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. See, that bah humbug's a bad thing, but like you could bah humbug all on Halloween and be fine.
Yeah.
And I just love it. Yeah, everyone's dressed up. You're in an amazing bat dress that's very subtle. Like you could get that and you like don't really realize, oh, it's just a pattern. And then you look and like, nope, it's bats.
Yes, and I wear it all year.
So. Oh, yeah, perfect. So tell us about Mystic Moth.
Oh, goodness. So Mystic Moth kind of came about maybe not by accident, because nothing's truly an accident, but I had worked part-time in another crystal shop before and had really amazing conversations with people and learned all kinds of new things, grew, expanded. And when I stepped away from that, I really missed the connection with people. And so I was kind of looking to restart that. Not necessarily a business. I never really considered myself a business owner and all the stuff that entails with that. But more so just a place where people can come, they can buy some cool stuff, but also have awesome conversations. As you can maybe imagine, in a metaphysical store, there's some really expansive and fascinating conversations, and they help you to learn and grow, which I think is important for everyone.
No, I mean, it's a really fun store to walk through, and I go with my daughter, and it's like most of the stuff you're like, okay, that's kind of cool. That it makes sense. And then you get to the one that you're like, who thought of doing that? It's I love stores like that because it's like you pick things up and you explore and learn and ask questions. And so if anybody's looking for your store, it's sort of by Rhombus Guys is maybe a popular destination along that strip.
Yeah.
But you're on a Halloween show. And so there is some weird Halloween type things there, but it's really, you have products that are all year long as well.
Yeah. So not everybody understands the term metaphysical, and, it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of an all-encompassing term. But we do have lots of different spiritual products for however people want to use them or what their practices are. We've got crystals, herbs, teas, tapestries, books, cards, a whole bunch of oddities, which focus a little bit more on nature, kind of like insects, bones, things like that. And we have a whole section for kiddos too. So a little bit of something for everybody.
Everybody can use a sage cleansing now and again of their space. So that's always good. So you talk about the natural world. You have a lot of insects and herbs and things. So how does that tie into the art of what you offer?
Yeah, so I think, we come from nature, and that's where we return. And so there is some sort of longing that we have to connect with nature. And it's been really easy to get disconnected, with concrete walls and electronics and everything. So I always say how great it feels to put your feet in the grass, listen to the birds sing, and feel the sun on your body. There's just something that you can't buy that gives you that feeling. So I think we're kind of going through a reawakening of learning who we are, and we're yearning to connect with nature. And so I know a lot of people are like, well, insects, yeah, sure, nature, gross, bugs. And I get that, and I wasn't really into bugs either, but I kind of have this voice that was like, you're going to do bug taxidermy. And okay. I always thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
But then when I started working with them, like there's many different kinds of weevil beetles. But there's a really cool one that's mostly green, and then in all of its joints, it's this bright blue. And you would never get to see that if you didn't get up close to it.
Like, did you see the picture of the year last year of like the close up of the ant? And just like how terrifying an ant is. It was like blown up.
I probably did. I'm on like lots of entomology sites.
Oh, yeah.
And
There you
so
go.
like I'm constantly posting pictures like that. It's so interesting. Even we've got these beetles in our shop right now because we have live pets as well. And they have, I don't know if they're like little claws or something, but I call them toe beans.
Yeah.
Just
toe
to make
beans.
them a little bit more
That's
friendly. You know, cats have toe beans and spiders and beetles. They all have little toes, and they're just little creatures. So.
No, my wife sent me a video the other day because I like mushrooms, and it's like people eat dead mushrooms, and it's like mushrooms eat dead people, you know, and it's like we're all part of nature,
Yes.
one way or the other.
Yes, I've seen that one before too.
It's always fun.
Yeah, we also carry a crystal, Vivianite, and they call it like the corpse crystal because a lot of times they find it growing on decomposing things.
Oh, interesting.
So it gives it a little, creepiness.
So tell us, you do are they classes, courses? What do you have going on there for seminars and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so we have all different kinds of readers, palm readers, tarot, oracle, just intuitive. We have healers, so whether that be, everybody kind of knows what Reiki is, but people are kind of doing their own version of Reiki now. We call it like Reiki Plus. So using your gifts to kind of bring something to your holistic practice. We also have classes and events. Some of the classes are past life regression. We've had palm reading classes, how to read tarot cards, protection, how just to protect your energy in your space, which I think everybody can use.
Yeah. So is it think of those classes too as a great way to meet people that are into similar things.
Yes.
In a growing community like ours, sometimes it can feel really big if you're into something that not everybody's into. And how do you find others like that?
Absolutely. And when you do, you find that there's more out there
Yeah,
than you
right.
even realized. Sometimes we stereotype, that person there's no way they're into that.
Right. She has a bat dress. She's into this.
Right. It's really interesting just to see who comes in and what they gravitate towards in the conversations. My favorite is when people come in and they say, so I have a kind of a weird question.
Yeah.
And I'm like, lay it out.
Yeah.
Like, please have it be weird. No, but I kind of, if I have to kind of say what the shop is, I think it's an anchor of light for weirdos to find their weirdos. So, come on in, you can meet people, have conversations, connect from there. And we don't all agree on the same things, but as long as we're respectful and inclusive,
Right.
There's a lot to be learned there.
So if people want to find more about the shop other than coming in, can they find information online about what you're selling, what the classes are, those sort of things?
Yeah. So I do have a website. However, I'm going to fully admit that it's not that updated. So if somebody's looking for products, I would say just message or call me and go that route. But otherwise, Facebook and Instagram. I'm a little bit older, so I go with Facebook.
Yep.
So that's been a little bit of a struggle for the young people too. As you find, young people are really up and coming, and they're embracing this fast. So that's where you can find the information. We usually post classes and things like that on there.
Facebook's always good. It's the event calendar these days. If you're
Yeah.
looking for any sort of event, you go on Facebook. It's still, no other platform has equaled their events
Right.
side of things, or if you want to see people's kids.
Mm-hmm.
But all those fun things. So you're in downtown Fargo. I always tell people, give a shout out for downtown Fargo about why you like being part of that community and what brought you to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think when you think back to downtowns, it's kind of the history of it anyways is the meeting place. It's where everybody kind of does business and entertainment, and you can see interesting things there. And I think that's still true today. People are drawn to that naturally. There's a certain curiosity to the vibe, which I absolutely love. I live downtown as well, so I kind of immerse myself in it. I love all the different people and all their different life experiences because they help me to learn and grow and evolve. And I mean, that's really what we're all here for.
Yeah, I always, we say we're doing new things downtown, but what we're really trying to do is old things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Town Square, it's Broadway Square. It's like the oldest thing ever, right? It's a place where people gather and community comes together, and
Right.
you come on your weekends or your days off,
Yeah.
and you meet people. It's like that's where you go and you collect and you see culture and community
Yes.
collide, I think, is my intro to this. Where
Yeah.
culture and community and commerce collide.
Makes a lot of sense.
And so
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. How do we get more people to explore the shops downtown? Because I think in this day and age, when people shop online or they used to driving right up to their strip mall, that sort of thing. But what I love about downtown is we all share the same right away, right? Somebody will come to Rhombus Guys and then walk by your store and be like, oh, and then stop in there, and then vice versa. They'll go to your store and they're like, well, we're here at dinner. Let's go eat at Rhombus Guys. And like that shared experience is so important and what makes it unique.
Yeah. That's a really hard one because you can get a subset of people that really avoid downtown like the plague, and then other people that's where they go for everything. And I don't know that you can really convince people otherwise. So just being an example, whenever I can, I talk about downtown and how much I love it. And, safety obviously comes to mind a lot. I think it's very safe. My kids walk the dog downtown. It's just be aware of your surroundings, which is a great life lesson. We've lost a lot of street smarts. So
Yeah.
it's an opportunity to gain some of that and just get to know people and their different life stories. It's huge.
And I'll say that, so Main Avenue, which you're on,
Mm-hmm.
we have something new on Main Avenue this year, which you probably haven't seen yet. I don't think they're up, but we light up all the lights for Christmas, all the street lights, the Christmas lights that come on. But Main Avenue is going to have brand new snowflakes all up and down Main Avenue, and we put a big investment into that to try to make it fun for the holiday seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and bright and safe, all those things. And so invite people to come on down for the holiday season, check out First Avenue Market and Lunatic Boutique and
Yeah.
Mystic Moth and all the fun stores in between. Crystal, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And hope you have you back, or otherwise I'll see you downtown.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Welcome back and happy Halloween, everybody. You're on Rocky's Downtown Hour, celebrating Halloween and all the things going on downtown. It's been fun to talk about the haunted tour that went on last night in downtown Fargo. I had one listener out there send me a haunted story about the DeLandrecies building, Block 6, where it's a cool old building just off Main Avenue there, about the veiled woman that haunts the basement there and the mysteries behind that. I'm sure there's a lot of other cool old stories. Downtown had a pretty big fire 100 years ago and burned down almost the whole city at the time, or the better portion of the city. And I imagine that created some scary real-life experiences that led to a lot of stories about what could be. But I wanted to address one other thing happening downtown. The City Commission on Monday voted, after a lot of discussion and public input and a couple years of process, voted to find a new location for the Downtown Engagement Center, which will now have a new name and a new location. It'll be at 2001 First Avenue South, sort of near the police office, about a mile west of Broadway. With something that we've helped advocate for and are helping fundraise for, but this goes beyond just what we're doing as a downtown community. This was something that was in our Downtown in Focus plan, which is the master plan for the city. It was very important to those providing services at the Engagement Center, which is currently in the old police station right now. It's a really unwelcoming building. If you've ever been to a police station, they are not welcoming places, right? They're not for guests. They're for containing guests, not welcoming them. And so the current building, it's 3 stories. The lobby is tiny, very secure looking. If you're in need, it's tough enough when you're in need to go ask for help, right? If it's asking for directions or, everything from, mental and substance abuse and all these things, right? If you're seeking help, you want to have the most welcoming place possible. We want to give these people needing help the best shot possible to get that help. And so we've been working with the service providers there to find locations near other services, and a lot of those services are in downtown, so near other services. And there were 3 locations that met all their criteria that the service providers had, which were a lot, but all reasonable. It makes sense when you go through them. And this was the one that was chosen, and now we are in the process of raising money. The FM Area Foundation and the city have set up a fund, and we are working to raise pretty significant money over the next couple months to help that relocation, cover the lease costs, some fit up to make that space welcoming and conducive to all the services that are provided. I get asked a lot, why is the city involved in this? Isn't this what nonprofits do? And I say, yes, it's exactly what nonprofits do in town. There's so many great ones that are working on, and we say homelessness, but homelessness is 100 different types of challenges that people are dealing with. And so it's not just somebody working on homelessness. It's somebody working on substance abuse, mental health, domestic abuse, people fleeing those situations, economic hardships, everything that you could possibly think of, a medical hardship, all these type of things, or just temporary loss of a job, and you're trying to hang on to your apartment for, a month so you can get back on your feet, all of the above. And so what we've done is worked on this new engagement center as a location that's both welcoming, but it's also house of so many different nonprofits. I think there's a couple dozen or 3 dozen nonprofits that call that place home, or that's where they meet clients. And the city is the convener of these nonprofits. Somebody has to put in some investment to create a place where somebody can go and get not maybe all the help they need, but as much as they can. People who are transportation challenged, have other challenges, asking them to go around to 10 different service providers is just not feasible. And so this is a place where service providers can all go and meet with their clients in a spot that's conducive to success. So we are working on that. If you're interested in making a donation to that, we are raising, we've committed to raise $1.5 million. I know the city has other needs. The United Way is working on other needs for housing, homelessness. What we're raising money for is to a capital investment. It's not an ongoing service provider needs. This is simply for a capital investment to get a place that's conducive to the help they need. And so we are working on that. If you're interested in donating it to be part of that $1.5 million, we do have a $500,000 commitment already. And so we are hoping to challenge everybody to help match that amount through the community. And so if you want to help this process, but also I think help downtown, the building it's in right now is not conducive to the services, but it's also not conducive to the neighborhood. They get pitted against each other a lot, and it's unfortunate. It shouldn't be where it is. It's a bad building. It doesn't need to be right on top of where, the highest property tax value places are in town, and that's the reality of how these things work. It's a land use thing. Commerce isn't conducive to being right next to that. And so trying to figure out how they both can coexist successfully. I don't think they have to be at odds. That's my belief. And I believe we have the ability to do that and help each other out. But also we have some behavioral issues downtown that is really tough to manage when every time you attempt to manage bad behaviors in downtown, it gets linked to homelessness. I don't think that helps those advocating for services of the homeless, and I don't think it does much for us trying to manage the behaviors either. And so if we can separate those two issues, I think both sides will be better suited to solve their problems. I don't think the people causing problems downtown are doing it because they're homeless. Some of them are homeless, some of them aren't, a lot of them aren't. And so I think let's separate those so we can have real discussions about how we can address both as a community. I don't think either problem is too big for us to address as a community. And I think we can do it, and we can do it together. And that's how we've always done things in Fargo. We fought floods, and we all came together. Doesn't matter if you're on the left or right side of the aisle, if you're old or young or new, been here your whole life, 4th generation or 1st generation. I think we all come together as a community, and that's what makes us special. And we lift each other up. And so I feel like sometimes these topics are a way to drive a wedge, and that's unfortunate. I look for ways we can work together and solve all of our problems together. They're all needs are out there, and so we're working on a specific need to help relocate that, both for the betterment of downtown, betterment of that customer experience, but also to give them a space that hopefully provides a more successful opportunity for them to seek help. So that's what we're doing in downtown Fargo. And tonight, though, is all about Halloween. It's all about the kids. turn off your lights if you don't have candy, or go out and buy, $5-10 worth of candy. Make somebody's day. Smile at them. Tell them you love their costume. Tell the kids you love Spider-Man, Batman, whatever, Minions, whatever it is. And we're just excited to be out there and go lift somebody up. Go lift the kids up today. Tell them how great they are, and tell the parents they're great for taking them out too. Happy Halloween, everybody.